5 ways to unlock psychic ability that you can do right now. Number 1 is dive into grief if you've lost someone. Now, let's not get totally maudlin here. You don't want to get theatrical. You do want to feel what you're feeling like in your body. And the point of this is to feel what you're feeling and go through the experience. Okay? There's no wrong way to grieve, okay? But what you're going to do when you come out of this is the depth and intensity of your grief is going to become the strength of your connection. So you're going to have someone else to communicate with and practice your psychic mediumship ability with on the other side. But first, you've got to get through the grief because that grief is actually preventing you. They're probably already trying to get you messages, but that grief is preventing you from getting it's like the phone rings and you can't pick it up because you're in grief about it. This is even hard for psychics, okay? Spirit mediumship, like it's still difficult to not have someone or physically with us. So don't judge yourself, but you do need to dive into the grief and go through it. Personally, what helps me is to have a sense of humor about it, not take myself so seriously or anything so seriously. And then like the goth aesthetic, like I'm so excited for Beetlejuice. Like you guys have no idea. I'm gonna dress up. It's just like Lydia D's like saved my childhood growing up. But anyway, number 1, dive into grief. Number 2 is to start doing reality checks to prompt lucid dreaming. Reality checks are checks that you do multiple times throughout the day, and they could be like anything. You can use a dream totem like Inception. You can look back and forth at clocks, but anything that you are just reminding yourself, you can set alarms on your phone. Got that from my telekinesis teacher. But anything that you can do throughout the day to remind yourself, I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming, I'm dreaming, or I'm awake, I'm awake, I'm awake. Just pick one and stick with it. And eventually you're going to start doing that in your dreams, and it's going to help you wake up in the dream. And then you can control your dream and lucid dream. This is a building block to other stuff. I hope I'm making sense. I'm filming this on Mercury retrograde. But number 2 is start doing reality checks for lucid dreaming. Number 3 is to practice putting the body to sleep, but keeping the mind awake. So I actually started practicing this when I was a child. My father would read me like stories, and I just couldn't sleep. I could just like never sleep. I have like Mercury square Pluto. So like I just stay awake. But he would like lead me through these like guided meditations, and I just remember from the toes to the head, just every little part, like your toes are so comfortable. Oh my God, they're so warm and cozy. And oh, your foot is so comfortable. The heel of your foot, your ankles are so comfortable. And just that's how I learned to do it. So I was actually good at this in childhood. But you basically just want to not feel the body anymore, but you want to stay awake and alive in your mind. This is also another building block, but this is something you can start practicing right now. Number 4 is to right now start trying so hard to remember your dream from last night. And if you can't, just the most recent dream that you can possibly remember. Just really try hard to remember it and write it down if you have pen and paper to write it down. But otherwise, just try really hard to remember your dreams every single morning. If I go through like a phase where it's hard for me to remember, just pick one detail. Try to just like as you're waking up in the morning, try to grab just one detail. Sometimes that one detail will trigger the whole memory of the rest of the dream, and sometimes it doesn't. But just try. That's what we're going for here. Number 5 is probably my favorite. Imagine that your hands are super, super hot and your feet are super, super cold. Think hot hands, cold feet, like over and over. And the more you like pulse on that thought, the other thoughts are going to come up and like leave. And it'll be easier to keep refocusing on hot hands, cold feet over and over in your mind until you feel it physically. And then switch the sensation. This is another building block. These are 5 things you can do right now to unlock your psychic ability, and you got to practice. We got to get every single person online. Okay. That's like internet to the 10th power. Okay. Every single one of us. Yes, even you.